It's 7:30 p.m. on a Monday night. A gentleman walks into my dental practice in Bedok for an appointment. He's obviously wearing work attire. There I am, a fresh dental school grad, ready to put 5 years of patient communication training into practice. So I engage with him as I best know. I say, "Hi, how are you? Are you coming straight from work? Where do you work?" Ba-bow. He looks at me like I am a complete psychopath. I have never seen that much distrust in anybody's eyes. So he panics and he says, "Jurong, why you need to know?" I'm sorry, mate. That's not what I meant at all. I don't care where you work geographically. I meant, like, what kind of company do you work for? How could he possibly misunderstand me? This was January 2011. I just graduated from dental school in Perth and moved to Singapore to start my first full-time job and live in the same city as my partner. What could possibly go wrong? Singapore's safe, it's easy, everybody speaks English. I'm an accomplished professional with a wonderful Australian bedside manner. Besides, I'd basically seen it all at the dental hospital in Perth. I'd had a patient who was a sex worker with full dentures who'd convinced me that her line of work works best with no teeth at all. True story. There was the schizophrenic guy who was convinced that I was a hired government spy implanting tracking chips in his gums. And there was World of Warcraft guy who was so into it he forgot to ever brush his teeth. Now, all these characters loved me, so there was no reason that my Singaporean patients weren't going to love me too. So I start working at quite a local practice. I'm in these heartland clinics. I'm working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. This is a massive culture shock, okay? All my friends who work full-time in Australia work 3 days a week, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., okay? So here, my busiest timings are 6 to 9 p.m. every day. Why? Because Singaporeans don't believe in taking time off work to go to the dentist. Okay, so that's fine. I've got this culture shock. There's no work-life balance, okay? Now you compound this with the shock of durian breath. I had the loveliest patient. We're going to call her Daphne for this story, okay? Daphne and I get along really well, okay? Daphne has a dilemma. Like all good Singaporeans, she's only going to come to her dental appointment after work, okay? But if she waits till after her dental appointment, her favorite durian pancake shop that happens to be in the same mall as the clinic might sell out. So she just has to eat the durian pancake before seeing me every time. My gosh, I thought World of Warcraft guy smelled bad. Daphne and her durian pancake could take my whole clinic out in one swift breath. The crazy thing in all this was I was so uneasy with how rocky my communication had been with my local patients. I couldn't figure out how to break it to Daphne that I'd have to divorce her as a patient if she didn't drop this highly inappropriate habit. I really started to question my decision to move here as a fresh graduate. I think I had my lowest point when late one Friday evening, a Singaporean auntie came in for an extraction. And she refused to believe that I was the dentist and not the nurse. So she just starts yelling at me to bring out the real dentist and says, "You so young, girl, you really can pull my tooth or not? You really have got the strength or not?" I had lost the will to defend myself. And I absolutely hated being on the back foot with people whose trust I was trying to gain. So that night, feeling quite broken and a little bit demoralized, I took a taxi home. Despite being really demoralized, I realized this was my chance to get a glimpse into the Singaporean psyche. So I engaged with taxi uncle. Okay? So he starts the conversation like they usually do, and he says, "Girl, you shopping so late, No, uncle, I just finished work. I'm a dentist. Ah, you so rich. Dentists make a lot of money. No, uncle, it's really difficult being a foreign graduate here. You know, all my Singaporean patients seem to have some major trust issues with me. And that was when he dropped a tooth bomb that probably changed my life. He said, you know your problem, girl. You too nice. You like Ang Mo. How to trust you when you're so nice? Your Singaporean patient, they're just thinking how much extra money you charge later for being so nice. My gosh. I couldn't speak for the rest of the cab ride. And then he breaks the silence when he drops me off. This your house, How much rent you pay, girl? Too much, uncle, thank you. So I thought long and hard about what he'd said. I decided to try something new. I had nothing to lose. I recognized that the dentist-patient relationship was purely transactional. And as my patients walked in the door for the next few weeks, I started to say things like, you got pain or not? Or, today you got problem or not? Or my favorite, your tooth spoiled already, you want to pull or you want to save? My Singaporean patients absolutely loved it. But when I took my Singlish home, my husband, not so much. Thank you.